I'll hopefully remember and start my stopwatch today because I forgot to start last one. There was something counting in my head. Right. So the first one we're going to start with, guys, is going to be our foot torques. So it is a new one for some people as well, but again, we'll talk through this. We're going to do it for a couple of minutes all together. So we're just going to be standing, feet about shoulders apart, hands on the hips as much as you can. And all I'm asking you to do is rotate around to one side, rotate around to the other. A couple of principles are the foot doesn't come off the ground at all. So the big toe, the pinky toe, and the heel are always in contact with the ground, but you'll find that the weight transfers differently to different areas. And a new thing I want you to really focus on is when you rotate around over the right hand leg, I want you to push the knee back. That'll lift the arch up on that foot. And then when you're going around the left hand side, think about fully extending the knee back to lift the arch off there. If the knee stays soft the whole time, you don't get as much supination and pronation. So think about when you're going around slowly, squeeze the knee into extension or into a straight leg position there itself. So having the toes relaxed on the ground, rotate around, but make the rotation come by squeezing that knee back. The knee going back takes the hip back. The hip going back takes the shoulder back. So everything rotates as a chain of movements, like a domino effect as we move through the range. Keeping the breathing nice and controlled, nice and regular. I've just seen a picture of myself on the screen. That is a wild outfit today. T West. Dressed in the dark. Squeezing back. We're going here for a couple of minutes all together. And I want you to just explore where the weight goes. Even close your eyes if you wish to, so you can visualize where that weight transfers. Focus firstly on the right foot. When you rotate round to the right, it should be on the heel. And then when you rotate away from the right, it should be onto the big toe itself. And then vice versa, switch over to thinking about the left hand foot. When you rotate to the left, squeeze the knee back. The weight should go on the outside of the foot. And then when we rotate away from that left, it goes across onto the big toe. And that's what we call the supination and pronation. It's not just a movement at the foot, it's a movement of the whole body itself. And wherever there's a weak link in the chain, it often manifests itself by stopping that supination and pronation of the foot itself. 10 seconds to go, then we're on to our first drill today. First drill today is going to be our running man holds. So we briefly touched on this one a couple of weeks back, but we're going to really focus on taking the time to explore it today. So 3, 2, 1, and relax. So we're talking through the drill first of all. So we have our left foot first of all, and we're going to have our right elbow. Back foot's going to be nice and loosey-goosey on the ground here, but all the weight's on the front foot itself. And all we're going to do is slowly, and I mean super duper slow. This is as much as we can do. We're going to take our time to really get our elbow to touch the knee. Once the elbow touches the knee, the timer starts. I'm going to hold there for the minute itself there, okay? Bruce Forsyth. You ever seen Bruce Forsyth in Generation Game? This is his standard pose. So left foot forward, all the way up over onto the front foot, back foot nice and loose, elbow on the right hand side. 3, 2, 1, slowly transition. The back foot stays down for balance, but there's hardly any weight on it. And as soon as that elbow touches the knee, I'll start the timer. So we're ready, and off we go. Elbow touching knee, we're going to hold in this position here. If you want to take your left hand on your left glute, you'll feel it quite full. It should feel quite firm. It's under a lot of tension there. If you slide the hand down the hamstring, you'll feel hamstrings working. If it's not, lift the hip back, but keep the elbow touching the whole time. If you do need to use a wall for balance, please do. We're going to hang out here for the minute. And then when we transition out, again, super slow. All the weights on the front leg. Hold here. Press down to the ground. Hold here. Running man, track start. Bruce Forsyth. Press down through the ground. 10 seconds. 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, stand up tall through that leg. And relax. Switch over. Right leg forward. Right leg forward, left leg back. So again, it's going to be all the way up on the front leg. Soften the knee. Left elbow. Okay. Down we go. Super slow. Transition. Take your time. Make the quality of the transition good. Time starts now. Elbow touching. Other hand, you can come out the back for support, or you can place it onto the hip. If you don't feel the hip tight, push the hip high, drop the head down. Keep the knees soft with a wee bend in the knee, nothing on the back leg at all. Hold here. Good job. Breathing nice and controlled. Hold this position, knee onto the inside of the elbow, elbow to the inside. You push the elbow into the knee if you can. Keep the knee back against the elbow if you can as well. So you're really creating that co-contraction at the hip, co-contraction of the adductors, hamstring, calf, into the plantar aspect of the foot as well. Push that knee into the elbow. 3, 2, slowly transition back out and let that leg shake under the tension. And second set, left leg next, left leg. Left leg forward, all the way to the back leg. Up, over, on, soften the knee. Right elbow, slowly coming down. Press into that knee. And push the knee back out against it. So really push now. Time starts now. Hold. Nothing on the back leg. Hand on the hip here. Should feel full, should feel firm, should feel contracted. If not, push the hip high and push the knee in towards the elbow. Really make that core contraction with the shoulder and the hip. We talked about that cross connection last week with the shoulder and the hip. This will really get it to work. Push. Hold here. Keep breathing, nice and controlled. Hip stays high. Hold. Push into the elbow. Ready. And unwind to that front foot. Let that muscle work. Don't rush this bit. This is the gravy. This is the bit that helps you the most. And stand up tall. Good job. We're back onto the right leg again. Lift that. Right leg forward. Left leg back. Up, over, onto the front leg there. Back leg's doing nothing. Left elbow. It's going right into the front leg knee. So ready. And we drop down super slow. And time starts now. Push into the elbow. Push. Push. Knee pushing in, elbow pushing in, crossing back. Nothing on the back leg. Really nice and controlled in through the nose. Long exhalation to the mouth. 15. Feel that glute working now. In 5, 4, 3, 2, transition back out. Super slow. Super slow. Let it come up. Good work. But one last set, guys. One last set. Left leg forward. Give a nice little shake out. Let's get this big one going now. So ready, hands up, over, and on. So up, over, onto the left foot. Right foot's light. We're then going to take that elbow down, slow, slow, slow. Ready? Timer starts now. Really press the foot down to the ground. Really push the knee into the elbow. Really control. Hold here. Really open up the posterior hip here. We're getting some length and strength through the glutes. We're getting time under tension on the whole posterior chain. We also feel a little bit of the groin. The more you push the knee in, you'll feel that full contraction of the adductors as well. Hamstring working, if it don't feel working, push the hip high, lean the head further forward. Good work. 15. 10. Now get the goal. Slowly come out. Really, really slow. Don't rush this bit here. Spend time under tension. Work hard to get attention. Bring it out slowly. And one last one on the right hand leg, guys. One last one, right hand leg. Ready? Right. Up over arm. Soften the knee. Left elbow. Down we go. Ready. And hold here. Press the elbow into the knee. Push the elbow into the knee. Hold here. Stay under contraction. Pressing down through the ground. Push the foot into the ground too. Breathe through the nose, out through the mouth. Press, press, press. Press, press, press. Really hold here. Working hard. Keep the balance. You can wall if you need to. Otherwise, just hand here. Press the knee in. Push the elbow in. Long through the arm at the back. 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2. Now get the goal. Come back out. Slow, 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 slow. Stay here. And stand up tall. Give yourself a wee shake of the legs there, guys. Good job. We need our mats next. If that is okay to do. We'll give your glutes a little bit of a shake. Next one we're going to do is going to be our glute hold. So we're going to be kneeling on the ground. I'll show you facing toward you first of all. So I'm going to have myself kneeling, thumbs. I'm going to be at the front of the hips. And I want the elbows to be as wide as you can. And I want you to imagine the front of your t-shirt is soaking wet. You don't want it to touch yourself, but you want the back of your t-shirt to really press into the shoulder blade itself there. So we're going to have our hands in here. I'm going to push the hips through. I want you to squeeze the glutes. Take the t-shirt off the front of your stomach. And we're going to squeeze the glutes and hold in this position for 30 seconds. And then we're going to drop back down for a 5-second rest. And we've got 6 sets of 30 seconds. Okay, good job. So kneeling. Let me get side on. You can see a side on view as well. So we're going to start with the first one now. So we're kneeling. Thumbs are at the front of the hips. Elbows in front. We're stretching the t-shirt at the back, but we're keeping the t-shirt nice and loose at the front. And we're pushing our hips right way through by squeezing the glute as well. So ready, 3, 2, 1. Push the glutes and squeeze the glutes there. Keep the elbows wide. I don't mind if the head drops down. Keep the elbows wide. But keep that belt buckle through. Push the hips right through. Keep squeezing the glutes. You'll feel hamstrings a little bit of a core contract as well. Try and make the left hand side and the right hand side glute work equally. 3, 2, 1, and drop back down. 5, 3, 2, 1. Drop up. Push hips through. Elbows wide. T-shirt tight at the back. T-shirt loose at the front. Squeeze the glutes, so really get the glute working hard here. In your head, ask yourself the question, does the right hand side work more than the left? Or is the left hand side working harder or less than the right hand side? So really squeeze, try and get both to squeeze at the same time. And 5, 4, push the hips through. 3, 2, 1, sit back down for 5, 3, 2. Third set, drive through. Push the elbows forward. Push the thumbs into the pelvis, but push the pelvis back against the thumb. So create some tension through here. Drive the hips, squeeze the glutes. Really squeeze that glutes. Make that glutes work in this position here. Soak a wet t-shirt at the front. Don't let it touch your stomach. Tighten the t-shirt at the back. Push, push, push. 3, 2, 1. Relax back down. 4th one coming up. 3, 2, 1. Drive through. Set 4. Push, push, push. Really pull the elbows forward as well. Squeeze the hips. Try not to sit back on the heels here. Really get that hips through. Make that t-shirt loose at the front, tight at the back. Pull the shoulder blades down. Feel that shoulder blades come around the chest wall. Push the pelvis forward. So squeeze the hips and push the hips forward. 3, 2, 1. Back down. 2 to go, guys. 2 to go. 3, 2, 1. Back in we go. Back in we go. Push the hips through. Elbows wide. Elbows wide. Hips through. Squeeze from the glute here. Try and just isolate the left hand side for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6. Just the left hand side. Squeeze in. 3, 2. Then change over to the right hand side. Squeeze the right hand side. Is it easy to activate? 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, and back down again now. 1 to go, guys. 1, 2, go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Up top. Push the hips forward. Tuck the bottom of the knee. Squeeze the shoulder down. Try and rip that t-shirt at the back. Make it nice and loose at the front. Really get your arms wide. Really push your shoulder blades back while you push your hips forward. Squeeze the glutes. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, hold, hold. Hold, hold, hold. 3, 2, 1. And relax back there. A minute recovery, guys. Into our next drill. It's more of a mobility drill for the hips itself. So we're going to find ourselves hands and knees. And for the first minute, all we're going to do is we're going to sit back onto the heels and then come back forward. Okay, so we can do very, very easy. Sit back on the heels and then all the way forward. So we start in 10 seconds, okay? So hands just on your shoulders, feet nice and relaxed. And all we do is we're going to sit back onto our heels and then come forward again there, okay? So when we sit back on the heels, try and keep your belly buttons close to the ground and then take that away again there. Okay, starting in 3, 2, 1. Only for a minute. Rock backs here. Just getting some movement into that pelvis after we've contracted that muscle around about it. Rock back here and back out. Rock back here. Nice little stretch for the lower back. Helps with that lower back stiffness, tightness, restriction. You might feel if you sit at the desk all day, or if you do spend a lot of time in the turbo trainer or road bike itself, try and get the hips and lower back moving separately. Push your hips back, forward back. 15 seconds. Forward back. Forward back. 3, 2, 1. Next drill, we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going side to side. So we're just going to have ourselves in the same position, but rather than going forward and backwards, we're just going to take our hips out with our elbow, okay? So we're going to try and keep our knees loaded on the ground. The knees will come off the ground and put your hips out from side to side. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, off we go. Roll to one side, push the hip out, roll to the opposite side, push the hip out. Back to the right, push the hip, back to the left, push the hip out. So we're not sitting back on the knee, we're just letting that hip go out. Feel that stretch in the glute med as we go out to the side. And let the whole body go with it. So really push across. And really push across. Really push across. And stop it. A really fantastic exercise to do just before you go to bed. You do suffer from lower back pain, or you do suffer from hip stiffness. Just get some W40 into that hips just by getting them going side to side. 3, 2, 1. And for the last one, what we're going to do is we're going to combine the two together. So all the way up to the right, sitting back onto the right heel, around to the left, and back up on the left-hand side, and then back onto the left-hand side, across, and up onto the right-hand side. So we're really getting that femoral head moving within that hip joint itself, the acetabular itself. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So we sit back onto the right-hand side, cross over, and then out on the left. Back on the left, all the way back, over and out on the right. Back on the right, stay wide, then scoop underneath, then forward we come. And sit back, scoop under, forward we come. 30 seconds. Sit back, scoop, really get wet, really push that really wide. And back on the left hand side, push across. All the way over. Drive through. Back to the right hand side. And back up. Okay, 3, 2, 1. And relax there back in the first one again. So the first one forward and back, which is nice. Mobility for the hips are ready. And sit back. And forward. Good. Sit back. Really good. Get that pelvis is working. If you wish to, anterior tilt there, posterior tilts, and vice versa. Just sit back into the hips. Don't make it any more complicated. All you're doing is sitting back as far as you feel comfortable going. If the knee restricts you, don't force it. Just sit back into the hips. Sit back into the hips. Sit back into the hips. 15 seconds to go. Mobilizing that hip. Lower back. As we sit back, the lower back stays open. As we come forward, the lower back closes. So we're getting some nice movement into that spine. 3, 2, 1. Lateral. So lateral. Drop the hip out. Right the way across, drop the hip out. I want you to really try and let that hip drop down. Drop down. Over. And drop, over, and drop, over, drop, over, and drop. So when you drop to one side, the left hand side of the mic is going to be open, the right hand side is going to be closed, and then vice versa as we go to the other side. So the small bony segments at the back start to just open in different directions. So sometimes we lose a lot of mobility when we're quite stiff there. So just take that introducing some nice mobility too. the hips itself. In 3, 2, 1. Combine the two. So down on the right hand side, over, back out on that left hand side. Down on the left hand side, over, back out on the right. Down, over, back up. Push the knees down as you're going back out. So push the knee into the mat to bring it forward to get that contraction of the hip. Down, over, push the knee to bring it back out. Over, push within 15 seconds, guys. We're almost there. Down, over, push, and down, over, push. 3, 2, 1. And we're back in stand. We're going to finish off with our glute torques again. And I just want you to be aware of how it feels now. We've actually gone through that before. Now we've actually opened up that hip. So feet shoulder apart. And we're just going to rotate around, pushing the knee back. And we should feel that hips, even though we've contracted them in the first 3 drills, we really made them go short, long, worked them quite heavily. We should feel there's no restriction at our hips when we're rotating now. We should feel a little bit more loosey-goosey. Just 30 seconds to go. So feet flat on the floor. Close the eyes over. Push the knee back on the side you're rotating to. That's really the key. Extend the knee. If you can't extend the knee, sometimes that's how you lose that supination and pronation of the foot. But extend the knee. Extend the knee. Try not to lean forward. So keep your chest and head up nice and tall as you push the knee. So you're pushing the knee rather than leaning with the shoulders. So squeeze in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax there. Good job, guys. Let me just pause the recording and I'll answer any questions you've got there. Well done. So a couple of new exercises there, including the running man holds. Really, really good exercise for pre-run, but obviously 1 set, and you're probably looking for maybe 15 to 30 seconds. The goal is the unwrapping of the exercise itself. So once you get yourself into position, the glute's going to work, but then slowly come back out. And if you rush that bit there, you miss all the good bit. It's a bit like, it's a terrible example, but I've committed now. You know, a pot noodle, when you don't quite get the water all the way to the bottom, it's a wee bit lumpy, but all the flavors there. That's when you're coming back out of that movement there. That's the bottom of your pot noodle. If you throw that bit in the bin, you've wasted the whole flavor. So really spend time exploring the co-contraction between the elbow and the knee itself. So really push them together, because what that does, it links that shoulder into the hip above the pelvis, but also it gets that glute long below the pelvis. And that's what we really need for cycling, swimming, running, any kind of sport. We have to link our upper body to our lower body as well. The second main drill we did was the glute squeezes there. We're looking to really try and get our shoulders wide. So we're really stretching the t-shirt at the back so we can really start to breathe into that. We didn't bring the breath work in today, but will be something we develop further, is that we don't just fix and hold. We've got to really try and expand out the back, out posteriorly. And when you're squeezing the glutes, you're trying to think about, can I actually work the glutes there? And there's a bit of a kudos about people saying, "I'll just squeeze your glutes to it and work." If you're able to squeeze the glutes and push the hip through and press against your thumbs when you're doing that, you'll get a really good contraction of the gluteal as well. So we worked them in a shortened position there. We worked them in a lengthened position before. And then with our rock backs, we're really just trying to get some mobility into that. So any aches and pains, if you come off a long cycle, if you come off a long run, where there's always going to be a little bit of decompression at the base of the back, we can then do our rock backs to try and get some length back into the base of the back and also into the hip joint itself. Does anyone have any questions at all about anything? Good job.
Brilliant. Thank you.
What's your favourite flavour of pot noodle? All athletes don't eat pot noodles. They're all athletes. Take
I'm
care,
the
guys.
lumpy stuff at the bottom.
What's that?
I'm the lumpy stuff at the bottom just now.
Take care, guys. Well done. And the
Bye.
next will be up.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, James.